Shidim Shuri. All right, let's focus on the defense industry. Today is Wednesday, December 11th, 2024. Big move today will be, big catalyst today would be the CPI, and then of course you have the PPI tomorrow, which that's the lesser extent. I think the market tend to focus more on CPI, and personally, I think CPI is gonna go down. How much down? Not much, but at least on my forecast, I I forecasted that it's gonna go down. There are people in the market on TV, on CNBC, that disagree. They think inflation is surging back. That's the exact word that I have seen and read and heard multiple times the past week or so. Surging. It's surging back. I, I don't know what to say. Hey, if I'm wrong, I'll be the first one to come back here and say I was wrong. It is surging back. But for now, let's focus on the bargains that has finally shown itself in the business of death and dying. A very unpleasant business, but it is here. Lockheed Martin. Lockheed Martin. Yes, back to the 200, which it has not seen since March. Yeah, it's been a long time. Does not mean that it's gonna stop there, right? But it finally got to a point that I think selling put spread down here is, or down here. See this gap fill around here? Yeah, that's the spot. This could be the first spot. This could be the next spot, but let's see what kind of put are we looking at. Okay, this I like a lot. Why? It's lined up in sync with the 61.8 fib, right? That looked really good, right? So let's take a look. So are we shopping for, say, 485 would be the highest puts? Let's see what kind of juicy juice do we have down there, right? Of course, Friday would be next Friday. Okay, I find it hard to believe that there'll be anything worth selling now. Yeah, like I said, it's for this Friday, you're not gonna get much of anything. But if you look at next week, let's go. Next week, here we go. 485. There you go. It's starting to look decent, right? 485, 480, potentially of 40 cents. That's not bad, okay? I would love to get 50 cents or better, but I take 40 cents. I will take the 40 cents there because anything lower is not worth it, right? Hey, if you can get 20 cents lower, if I can do, say, a 470, 465, and get 20 cents or better on that, that is also, so depending on what the market is doing, depending on what the stock is doing, 485 and below put spread is what I'm looking at, right? You see the gap fill at 475, so yeah, you can either be a little bit greedy and sell 485, 480, or be a little bit safe and say sell 475, 470. And using that gap fill as your last line of defense, sure. Instead of like getting 40 cents credit, you might only get, say, 20 cents credit, but you also get an extra $10 of protection, right? To me, that's worth it to get the $10, especially if you don't want to swallow up 100 shares or 200 shares or how many put spread you want to write. But to me, that gap fill is a really good spot for protection. You got multiple level of protection. First of all, you get the 200. I call it the, there are times when I use 4 level of protection, but to me, if you can get at least a double or a triple 3 level of protection, that's good, right? You get, first of all, you get the 200, that's 1 level. You get this trend line, which is, let's change the color because that is significant. Okay, it's not just a random trend line, right? Bang, bang, bang. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you're doing a gap fill put spread, you get 4 level of protection. Okay, so it's always, whenever I sell put spread or naked puts even, I want at least one, right? There's no such thing as just randomly throw out a put spread or a naked put below the current price and hope and pray. Hope and pray is not the solution or strategy, okay? Raytheon, looking good here, okay? They're all, if you're patient and wait for the past 3 months, they're all coming down to a level of support. Okay, so Raytheon came down. Certainly Raytheon fared better than Lockheed Martin because I think they are more in the business of rockets. Lockheed Martin is also have some of those stuff, but their big money is the F-35. That's their big money, okay? That's their big money maker for Lockheed Martin compared to Raytheon with the Iron Dome and all that nonsense, right? So that's why they fare better, because a lot of money has been putting into that, all the rockets. Once again here, if I was to do put spread, if you want to play extra safe, right there, the 200, okay? At least you get yourself, I would call it 3 level of protection. You got this trend line, which it bounced nicely. You get this trend line, you get this fib, and now you get the 200. So that's 3 level, okay? So 110, let's see what you got for 110. Not good, see? The juice here is pretty crappy for December 20th, pretty crappy. So I would say Lockheed Martin provide a better opportunity. But if I was to buy share outright, maybe if I see a trigger, an alert at the 200, at the least I want, the gap fill is pretty far away. You're talking 105, okay? But the 200 lining up with the 61.8 fib is a pretty good spot to buy, right? That's a no-brainer. So if we get down there, I buy. General Dynamics, which I have actually a bunch of put spread here. It was looking pretty dicey, but for now, I might close out my put at 270 for a small loss. I do have it. Yesterday, at one point, it was pretty ugly when the stock was down here, because I have 270, 267.5 spread, and then 265, 260. I have 2 level of put spread going on down there. If I close out the 270 on a small loss, the 2 put spread at 265, 260 will balance it out. So net is not a big loss or a gain. It's kind of like even Steven. I did add share at 270 as well yesterday. It's still a very small position as far as the share count I have. But what I probably will do, if I close out everything for next week, let's say if the stock bouncing around 270, okay, I will put a stop on my share right at the low of day here, which is 267.25. I will put a stop there and put a buy order for all those shares back at the fib support below here at the 262 level. Okay, that's that's going to be my play, because I'm not. Why not save $5, right? Why not save 2%? I take a 2% discount and reacquire those shares here and not suffer the pain, right? So that's the plan. Is this the bottom? It's definitely the weakest of the bunch, okay? Out of the three so far, the weakest of the bunch. And if you don't know, Lockheed Martin big boy is the F-35. General Dynamic big boy is the submarine. And last I checked, Australia, the big buyers of more subs, are still spending the money. So I like it. Fundamentally, I like General Dynamic a lot. TA wise, it looked kind of ugly, right? Because it's falling below reference low right now. Last is the least exposed, and it came down. Okay, it came down to ref low here. Last time it came down this much, it filled the gap, right? So let's draw in that last line of defense. Okay, let's make that a white line, because that's not that's serious. That's no joke line. Okay, make it nice and bright. Okay, let's go. Let's take a look at 3-year chart. Okay, so you see it here. Bang, bang, bang. Okay, so it was a resistant for a while. Let's go back even 5 years. Yeah, yeah, I think. All right. So now the question is, what kind of put spread opportunities are we looking at? Doesn't look like anything below 80. 80 is an 80 77.5. You might get 20 cents. Hard to see. Yeah, based on this right here. Maybe 20 cents, which is not a bad thing for 80 77.5. That's not a bad play if you are willing to swallow up 100 shares at 80, and I think that's a pretty good spot. Textron make a lot of stuff for the military, but they are not as overweight in, they have, you can go to their website, the company website, and take a look at the wide range of things that they make. They are not as heavily concentrated, in my opinion. And the stuff that they make is not, they don't have the big F-35 or the big submarine kind of, or the big rockets, okay? But they make, vehicles and other things, not the Humvee, but, a lot of things, helicopters. But I like it here. Take your pick, okay? When it comes down to the 4 companies I just highlighted here, they all have come down to support level. If you want to play it safe, buy all 4. I personally have the most exposed. I have nothing going on with the other 3. I have traded Textron, I have traded Lockheed Martin, but right now the only exposure I have is General Dynamics. That's the only one, because to me that's the strongest one fundamentally. But that's it. But I wouldn't mind buying all 4 if I have enough cash laying around. That's it. Later, people.